Hello and welcome to the Audio Epics podcast. This is Domien, and it's been a while since you've heard of us, but rest assured, we're still here, and we're still working on new stuff. Prince of Truth is almost written, and I've also started writing The Word of Wulfen. The CD version of The Beast of the Western Wilds is coming, but I was waiting for the cover illustration, and unfortunately our friend who is creating the cover illustration has fallen ill for some time, and I've decided that it's best to just wait until she's completely recovered, however long that may take, and she can work on the illustration and get, the best looking version of the CD version out there, rather than, slap something on and release an inferior looking CD version. So for those of you who are waiting for it, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I'm looking forward to it myself, and the CD version of The Beast will definitely come. In addition to that, I'm also planning to release the book version of The Beast of the Western Wilds with that same illustration. Anyway, for today, we've got an interview with the composer Peter Van Riet, who is a fellow Belgian like myself, also from Antwerp like myself. So you may hear that we both speak in sort of the accent of our natural dialect in this one, so I hope you'll forgive it, and also I hope you will forgive the relatively poor audio quality of this particular interview. Something went wrong during the recording, and as a result the quality isn't as good as it should have been, so I apologize for that. Hello, and this is an interview with Peter Van Riet.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello is Antwerp for hello. So for all of you non-Antwerp speakers out there.
Like everyone. Possibly.
So, let's talk about you as a musician.
Okay.
And everything that you've been doing for Audio Epics and beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond.
The stars.
So let's start with going back to how we first met and how we first started working together.
I think it was 2006, I think, or something like that.
It must be around that time.
Yeah, it was. I met Olivier first. It's through Olivier that I met you. He asked me for Will of the Woods, but the Dutch version.
Yes,
and
de wezens van het woud.
Yes. And they already had a composer. It was Vincent Pichal.
I think Olivier had. We had one of the actors was Nicolas,
yes.
And he was in a band called Lemuria.
Yes.
And they had a keyboard player who also composed music. Yeah. That was Vincent.
Yeah, and we worked together on that project. He had already laid out some themes.
Yes,
I'm not sure why what the reason was. They sought another composer, and why Vincent didn't do it. I don't really.
I seem to remember that things were very slow going. That because Vincent was very busy.
Okay. Yeah.
That we couldn't really. We needed more than 2 hours of music.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's a lot of music.
It is, but we did manage to
pull it off.
Well, you managed to pull it off. The entire audio drama was filled with music, and it was not just a bunch of music. It was really just. I think that's where we sort of clicked. I felt we quickly had the same idea of the atmosphere that we were looking for.
Yeah, it was very experimental for me. I did some really weird things with my piano too. It was the first time I really composed something for a large project that size. But yeah. So with lots of themes, and because I did some small things for myself, just experimenting, but this was the first thing with several themes for each character, and it was it's all to fit together in the end, and it was exciting.
I think
to do. I had to find out all the things, how to record and how to just in all aspects. It was very new to me. I just had to.
At that point, were you still a student of a music student?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, I studied at the Lemmens Institute in Leuven. I studied classical piano. So I think I was in my third year.
I've always been a big fan of film music, and that was one of the things that we sort of clicked.
Yeah.
You were also a big fan of film scores.
Yeah, like 70% of my music library, my digital music library, and just my music library is film music.
Yeah.
Bit of a film geek.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Soundtrack geek.
Yeah, and to this day still
yes,
it hasn't changed.
No, it's very, very much so.
So what were would you say your influences on The Will of the Woods?
Danny Elfman, very much so. Yeah. I remember clearly the theme. It was very much inspired by the atmosphere of the soundtrack of Black Beauty. It's not so known, but I think I very much like that theme, and it inspires me very much to the main theme for more the love theme, I think, the Music in Merilia.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of transferred that idea into that theme. I don't know if if an outsider would listen to both themes that would recognize the inspiration, but that's where I got inspiration. And also James Newton Howard. There is one
scene, The Village, maybe, or
no, more like it was a Disney animation film, Treasure Island or Atlantis. It was Atlantis. Right. That there was something from Atlantis that I did.
It's interesting. I wouldn't have noticed those influences, particularly in The Will of the
Thomas Newman too. Now I think of it, like the lake scene,
right.
Crossing of the lake. That was I had some inspirations from The Shawshank Redemption, like dissonant tones, and like it's.
I heard a little bit of the music. Howard Shore's music for Rivendell in The Crossing of the Lake, but that might have been coincidence, maybe.
No, that's sure. Yeah, it's sure. So lots of influences. I just don't remember. It's a long time ago. So.
And you also performed some singing in.
Yes, yeah. It was a lot of do it yourself. I thought there would be a singing voice would be a good fit, and then there is no one around, so I just recorded myself, and then it just stayed that way. And that was actually which idea. Someone else can sing it, like a professional singer or something.
I think it really works just the way it is. And I remember there was also the scene for Redla, the flying scene.
Yeah, it was
that was an interesting one because that really went through a lot of versions.
Yeah, and still changing.
It's still changing today.
Still not finished. Still tweaking, and
yeah.
12
years.
I'm actually not sure which version ended up in the file, because there are also a lot of versions of Will of the Woods, and there's the Riddles van het Hout and Will of the Woods, and then there's a remastered version of Will of the Woods, but I'm not sure
Oh yeah, all that is was I just
But I don't know if there were changes.
I didn't change anything about it.
I kept on because technology changes and I kept learning new techniques on sample libraries and I was.
The remastered version is just a remaster, just sound compression really. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Just to make it so the difference between the loudest and the quietest parts isn't as big.
That theme from Red Lad was from Vincent.
Originally, yes.
Yeah, but it's the theme is still Vincent's. Yeah. But the arrangement is different.
That's true.
It's mine, but the theme is Vincent, and it's a great theme.
His theme. His theme was more of a carefree sort of floating in the air sort of melody, and you turned it into more of an exciting ride.
Yeah, I was very much inspired by Harry Potter and Azkaban.
Right, Buckbeak's flight.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
I tried to capture that same energy. Of course, it's John Williams, so yeah, I never could. I still couldn't get to the same level of brilliance. I just no, but yeah, I was very much inspired by that. Yeah, so the scene and the music and energy, very much energy.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And I love the piano piece at the end. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's.
And I mean the Nuzwick and Marilia piano piece that you did for the end credits.
Oh yeah, that was actually the first thing I made. It was an improvisation. It was one of the campuses where we studied, and there were some pianos there. There was an aula with a piano, and we could record there. And it was the second or third time actually we met. We just recorded the team, and I just improvised. It was improvised at that moment, and I think I'm not sure which of that version ended up on the soundtrack or on the actual audio drama, but the theme still is the same. That's the theme I used, and then kind of that tradition ended up.
The theme became the sort of the theme for. It's kind of a love theme, I guess you could say, for
like the
character.
introduction theme is different. It's an entirely other theme that's composed by my.
But it was more. We called it. I remember we started calling it the Bond theme.
Yes, bonding theme.
Because not James Bond, but the bonding between these two characters. Yeah. Because the very first time the Wraith is introduced, for those who know the story, who've listened to it, the very first time the Wraith is introduced. And he takes off his hood, and Marilia sees his face. That's when you hear that theme for the first time.
I am a wraith, and a horrid sight to behold. I don't know where I came from, and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know anything. All I know, all I remember, is years and years of wandering. Wandering.
And then it comes back a number of times in the story, and then there's a full melodic version in the end credits. I really like the way the whole soundtrack, I mean the whole music score is sort of built up in The Will of the Woods. I was very happy with that. I still regularly listen to it just to enjoy the music. Also the...
Well, I've lost the soundtrack myself.
I can send it to you.
Okay.
I can send your music to you.
Well, that's how organized I am. I lost my own music.
But there was also
I have it on floppy disk.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, I made it a lot. Yeah, it's true. I made I made the orchestral parts. I made that on a Roland workstation synthesizer, and it didn't even have USB. It was just like a floppy disk, and I could record it on different tracks, like a very analog way actually. And then I had to connect my Roland with an analog audio cable to the sound card of my computer, and then I had to press play. First I had to press record on my computer, then I had to press play, and that's how I records huge parts of the soundtrack actually. Like the whole original introduction. That's how that was made. Like it was on my road, and then
That's
with
amazing.
the cable. Yeah, it's
Okay, and so let's fast forward a couple of years. I think 4 years to Witch Hunter.
Yeah.
So a number of years after The Will of the Woods, well, the original Dutch version of the Will of the Woods, we did Witch Hunter, which was something completely different. And
you made the main theme, humming.
I did. I don't remember that.
No. Well, no. We were. I asked for you, just hum it, and then I know we were. I don't know when it was.
I think at that time
it was just. Yeah.
I think I was listening to the music for Van Helsing, the movie Van Helsing.
Yeah, me too. I was very much inspired by the music of Van Helsing.
Yeah, which I mean, Van Helsing is kind of a similar character.
Yes.
And it fits.
But the music became something entirely else than the music from it. It's entirely else.
It's very different, but there's still an element of that.
It's actually, I was heavily inspired by Batman Begins. By the bum bum bum. Bum 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 ostinato. Bum 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 2 notes. Bum 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 bum. I like it. It's very unoriginal now. It's
but back then it was still original.
Yes, and I did actually my own. I thought I was being very smart because the Batman in Batman it was bum 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 bum, and I thought, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to bum 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 bum, and that became actually the theme of Witch. Actually, it's just Batman with difference. So it's maybe I don't.
No, I think that there's
maybe
more
I can't
to it.
say that, and
There's more to it than that, right?
well, actually, no. That's just it.
I mean, you did so much to create this grand, dark, medieval feel with the bells and the organ and the choir.
What do people remember? Bum and bum 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 bum.
Yes, but that was long before Inception that you did.
Yeah, they stole it from me.
Yeah. No, I remember one of the early scenes in Witch Hunter when he goes to his mentor's house, which is burning, and he tries to save him, and he has to jump through the window. There was this big climax.
Yeah, that was a very cool scene to score.
I was very happy with how that all turned out. It was
Alright.
And there was a lot of choir in it also.
Yeah.
Very big choirs. Very.
Yeah, I was still experimenting with how to arrange and score because I never really learned that because I was lazy. No, but I was like figuring it still out how to compose and arrange and orchestrate. And now I would do it differently now, but it has a very interesting effect. It was a very non-usual way to score things or to orchestrate.
Yeah, but it was. It had a unique sound.
That's.
I also remember there was something about the brass instruments that made it sound very unique Witch Hunter to me.
Well, I was very much inspired by Elliot Goldenthal, that score.
Ah, yes.
Elliot Goldenthal was a huge
Final
influence.
Fantasy.
And the harsh sounding sounds and the harsh sound of the brass and you had to feel the pain and the tormentation of Ludloff, and I think it's a very tormented sound. Probably I felt very tormented that time because I was rejected by a girl or something, but I had to work it out.
And also I was tormenting you, so you
Yes, you were also torturing me with
With
sticks and whips and yeah, it's
Oh,
very-
for the sound.
yeah, but it worked. It worked. It's great. No, yeah, it was.
So I thought Witch Hunter was another one of those cases where sort of the music for me immediately sort of conjures up certain visual images very much. I see Seven Peaks. When I hear that music, I see Seven Peaks. I see the tall buildings, so the Gothic architecture. I see sort of the red sky and it really it's that kind of music, isn't it? It's very visual music.
Yes.
And so after Will of the Woods and Witch Hunter, I think that's sort of when we started getting noticed in the audio drama community with our stories, and
Yes.
they started asking you for other projects as well, for audio drama. So
Yeah,
not for my stories, but other stories.
You have Mathieu Boudreau and William Dufry, who I met. Actually, it was when we met those people, like Matthew and Fred Greenall in
Minnesota.
yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
we made. You went there. You and Eileen went there in 2012 or 2013. I'm not sure.
We went twice. We went once, me and her, and then
Yeah,
once
the
with
second
you.
time I went with. The first time was for Witch Hunter, I think, and
Right.
the second time
Right.
there was a.
We won an award.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's when we met a bunch of people.
Yeah, so it was Converse.
Convergence.
Convergence. Yeah, it's like. How do you say? Well, what was Convergence?
It was like Comic-Con,
Yeah.
but smaller.
Yeah, but thinking the.
Convention.
Yeah, convention.
Yeah.
What a word! What a story, Mark. Yeah, like it was on a convention, Convergence. So that's where the second time I went with you. It was when I met Fred and Matthew, and then we kept in touch. And then Matthew asked me for some smaller projects, like Dialed In. I think
Right.
Eileen also worked as a director on one of those.
Yeah.
It was a lot different smaller stories. And Eileen directed, I think, one of those.
Yeah, she directed some of the episodes.
Some, yeah, and then I scored. It was something with I don't know. It was like some Indiana Jones like sort of story.
Right.
It was very cool. It was very. Music was sparse, but yeah, I was influenced by our soundtrack of Raiders, and yeah, it was very and it was very nice working with Matthew also. It was the first time we worked together. And then some years later, I think it was... Oh no, it was just 2014 or 2014. Fred asked me to join me in a project he was involved with, Journey with Strange Bedfellows.
Right.
Yeah, it was...
That was another sort of Victorian Gothic
that was
type story.
Yeah, but I made that... I kind of made... it was... I think an hour of music he needed, and I had like a month's time to score it, and I did it. I pulled it off like 2 months or a month and a half. But I think I'm very proud of that.
It was very good.
It was a project from Jan C. Jones. She was the brains behind that project. Fred was a producer also, and also William Dufries was also a producer. I made a project for him and Fred after that. But yeah, that was from Jan C. Jones. It was 4 stories, 4 classical stories, steampunk-like stories, and she combined them in one story, one romantic story, and it's very inspirational to make music for. It was a very cool project. Yeah, and I took ideas from things I learned from Witch Hunter. I used them in techniques to score, and it was so.
And then there were the Audible projects, right?
Well, it was one audible
Okay,
project.
I thought there was another one, but you'll know better.
I forgot. I don't know. I already got that. Audible. Yes. So through Journey, just like a month after Journey to Strange Bedfellows, or I think we were still working also on Journey, I think. And then a friend said he was working on another project with William Dufries. It's a real joy to work for William Dufries, by the way. Is very, very motivational.
Mm-hmm.
Very, I love working with him.
He believes in you.
Yeah, that's really nice to have someone to believe. It's very rare to meet someone like that who really can encourage you like that, and really, it's helpful also.
So that Audible project.
Yeah, it was Locke and Key.
Locke and Key, right?
Yeah, Locke and Key.
That was a very big thing in the audio drama community.
Yes.
There was a lot of talk about.
Yes, it's also not only in the audio drama world. It's from Joe Hill, and he wrote it. It's a graphic novel series of 8 or 9 books, and it was written by Joe Hill. Is the son of Stephen King, and it was with art.
Why isn't he called Joe King? Okay,
because yeah, I don't know why. Why? I don't know. But yeah, it was just to get. He made that with Gabriel Rodriguez, and I made the music for that. It was a very cool project. Yeah, for Audible, Amazon.
That music was, I think there was an element of sort of 80s adventure movies in there.
Yeah, so
not like Stranger Things.
no, but more like Alan Silvestri.
Yeah,
Goldsmith, but
sort of the whimsical tone.
yeah, and a bit like there was some DuckTales like music in it also.
Yeah, but amazingly, it's actually an extremely dark story, right? And
yeah,
the music gets dark also.
That, but yeah, it's very
It's very dramatic.
It's
very
very
emotional.
yes, but it's not all dramatic. It's not, but there are also some very light moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gritty. It has a lot of gritty elements, a lot of dark characters, and very.
It's a very varied score. You can really listen to it, and what I like about it's one of the things that I like about film music is one score, one album can contain so many different emotions, and I think Locke and Key is a great example of that.
Thank you.
And there was one track in particular that really stood out for me, and yeah, it sort of brings us to the next topic, I guess, which is The Beast of the Western Wilds, our most recent project, which we just finished and released this year. And you did new music for that, but we also used one track from Locke and Key in there. But first I want to talk about the new music. So you did music for it, but our friend Dane Leonardson also did music for it.
Yeah.
You have different styles, but I still thought that it really fit together, the two sounds.
Yeah.
But so
I think it's very cool what he did too.
Yeah, it's.
I was very when I first heard it what he had composed, like the theme, but that's used in the intro in the podcast version. So, I was very much surprised. I really liked it, the atmosphere and the instrumentation. It's something entirely else than the way I would approach it, but it's very interesting, very refreshing, and I really liked it.
I wanted The Beast of the Western Wilds to be different from Witch Hunter. I wanted it to feel much more, not the big epic, but more a smaller scaled story with a bit of an atmosphere of you're in the woods, and it's it's a bit more of like a grim fairy tale sort of feel to it, and Dane really did that with the wood instruments that he used.
Yeah.
The woodwinds.
The woodwinds. The will of the woodwinds.
But then you made a main theme for the beast, which was more inspired, I think, by Sleepy Hollow, right?
Yeah,
Any
but again,
elements?
more the atmosphere than really the instrumentation.
Right.
A bit instrumentation, like I don't know, but much. I think more. It was more the atmosphere and the rhythm and the. Well, it's orchestral, so it's so the instrumentation, of course. And then I used a solo voice. Also.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the sort of what is that instrument called? Is it a dulcimer?
Yeah, it's an instrument I actually also used in Journey with the Strange Bedfellows.
That instrument has a certain, a period feel to it. It has a historical feel to it.
Yeah, somehow it fitted, and
yeah,
I said, give it a listen.
Yeah, it really worked for me.
Well, it was like I think I made that theme 2-3 weeks at most for the first episode was actually broadcast on the internet.
I really like how with Witch Hunter 1, the first Witch Hunter, you had the very recognizable theme, sort of Ludlov's theme, the rhythmical bum 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 bum. At the end of each episode, when you heard that, you knew like, okay, so the episode is over. And with Beast of the Western Wilds, the same happened. It was a different theme, completely different theme, but you had that same feeling of, okay, so we're gently being taken out of this episode, and the music sort of ends it and wraps it up. I really like that. And then, there was a scene towards the end of the story of the Beast that at first I wanted new music for it, but then I was listening to your music for Locke Key, and there was a track in there called What Evil Lurks in the Dark?
Yeah, and Shadows.
Yeah, right.
Dark. Shadows.
But there was I once wrote a story long ago when I was 18, which was called What Evil Lurks in Darkshire, and it was like a sign in a way to me. I listened to it and I thought this track fits so well with that scene, the final scene where they fight the monster. And so I thought maybe we could use that, and we used it. Yeah. And I thought it really all just came together.
In the Locke and Key, it was kind of. I actually don't remember if we actually used that in Locke Key, but it was inspired by the last sort of final scene, and the way I composed music for Locke and Key was not like the scenes were being recorded while I made the music simultaneously. So I had to make music from more like directions, like atmosphere, or a theme for that person, that character, or that was the only thing that I really made for a scene. And I was actually more inspired by the graphic novel itself, because there was no material I could base myself.
To be perfectly honest, if they didn't use this in Locke and Key, then that's criminal, because it's such a great track.
Well, if it's used, I think it's probably buried under special effects. But
it's too much CGI, man.
Yeah, no, but it's not. I don't want to point. Certainly don't want to point a finger to Fred or William, because they did an amazing job. A lot of my music was very present in Locke and Key, and they really did amazing thing. But I honestly don't know if it was actually used, and I thought it was a pity because I really liked it myself. I liked working on that piece, and I think it evolves, and it is like 7 or 8 minutes, I think, and
I still haven't listened to the audio drama itself, so I don't really know. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the music.
that's the most important.
But it really fit in the Witch Hunter universe. Also, I thought there was this organ in it.
Yeah.
Which I think was a bit inspired by Interstellar, right?
The movie was. Yeah.
But it fits the medieval, well, the more like early Renaissance world of Witch Hunter, and the heavy percussion and brass sort of made it sound like there was something big and threatening, and and there was a monster in that they were gonna fight in my scene, so it just really fit together.
Yeah, but I didn't really compose a lot of music for pieces of the Western Wilds. I think maybe Dane composed lots more music than I did for that project. So
Dane did a little bit more. I also reused quite a bit of music from the original Witch Hunter, and
okay, but that's not.
But I very purposely left out the theme for Ludlov himself until the very end of the story.
Yeah, I know, that's very exciting.
Yeah, so at the very end of the story, Ludlov goes home again.
More excited than anyone who listened to it. I was like, yes, so.
So there, instead of going into the theme for the other episodes, we went to the Witch Hunter theme in sort of a big.
Yeah, a new rendition.
Yeah.
But I also
the dubstep version.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, I said it already made an appearance in the second track I made. It was for a particular scene.
The fighting scene with the little monsters.
Yes. Yeah, it was very, very, very cool scene to score. It's an influence from actually the opening from Raiders. The Lost Ark.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, the instrumentation and the
it
atmosphere.
certainly had a John Williams feel to it.
Yes, I experimented with some the same instrumentation that he uses in the soundtrack, and some techniques. It was very nice, cool. And then I subtly I tried to introduce the Witch Hunter theme, and it was very nostalgic for me to do that.
Yeah, for me also. What are you working on now, Peter? I thought, weren't you scoring a horror movie, or is that
no,
done?
scored that. Finishing that. Finishing there's an album. It's coming along now. Small.
So is that your first actual movie score?
No. The first one was I did I think 4, 5 short films.
Mm-hmm.
I did one in 2011, I think, Kingdom Come, and then extras in.
Right. Yes, I saw that movie. I went to the premiere.
Yes, you were. Yes, I forgot. Yes, you were there. Yeah, it was an interesting film.
Yes.
It was more a comedy film.
Yeah, and the music was kind of comedy, sort of.
Well, I tried to take it serious, because I think that the thing you shouldn't do with comedy, it's very, very difficult genre to score, because you shouldn't. There isn't a thing. It doesn't exist a thing like comedy music. It doesn't exist. Like
right,
you can't. It just
right.
doesn't work. Like if there is a you have to take it seriously. You
But
have
there
to
was
take
a
it,
sort
you
of...
have to really. That's my vision. I think that's the best comedy music is the music that takes what happens on screen seriously and not like like a
Yeah, right.
or like
But I mean, there was certainly
music.
more of a playful element to it, right?
yeah, just more lighter music. But there was also the introduction scene. It was inspired by the music of Dance actually.
Really?
From
Okay.
Dirk Brosset. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
strings and it was a family meeting and there was
Between brackets for our American listeners, Dance is a dramatic movie.
Yeah.
It's a Belgian movie. They probably don't know it, but it's a dramatic movie.
that was Stijn Konings.
And
And the music was from Dirk Brosset, very famous composer, not only for film music but just for music composer, classical music composer, and also for musicals. Also, he made music for musicals. Yeah, the musical from Dance, and the conductor and a teacher, and just an all-round very. And a trumpetist is a trumpet player, classical trumpet player.
didn't Dirk Brosset also conduct the Star Wars concert?
Yes, it's like a sort of ambassador for film music.
Yeah.
And every year at the film festival, there is a film festival in Ghent, and every year they invite one or more composers.
Yeah.
And then he conducts the concert.
I went the year when James Newton Howard was there. Right. Yeah, and James Newton Howard was complimenting Dirk Brosset's conducting skills.
Yeah, but Dirk Brosset is also he also loves film music. He's a passion also for film music, and it shows. And it's very hard for that. Very interested. It's very, and it's just a very good musician. Yeah, but dance is like a classic. Like it's called for dance. It's so very.
It's quite well known here in Belgium.
Yeah, and the music is very, very good.
Belgium's got talent. And so, as for the future, for Audio Epics, we are writing new things. My wife Irene is currently writing a new story, which is more in the same style as The Will of the Woods. It's something similar to the Chronicles of Narnia.
And the music is by Bruno Mars.
And I'm writing the next part in the Witch Hunter saga, which is called The Word of Wolfen.
Yeah. I remember what I wanted to tell. We should make a compilation album for Beasts of the Western Wales with the music of Dane.
If you and Dane agree, then
yeah, sure. I don't know it.
We can make a CD and sell millions. Become rich.
Yes, that's why we do it for the
because I mean, after all,
that's all for
the audio drama has been listened to by about 2,000 people, so I think the CD will sell millions.
Yeah, of course, it's no question about it. But why wouldn't it? It would be I would be really surprised if it wouldn't sell millions. That's yeah, okay. Sure. Why don't they have an album yet?
Yeah, let's get busy.
Or let's get busy.
Let's get busy.
Let's get busy.
Okay, so this was our interview. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.
I did.
So that was our interview with Peter Van Riet. I hope you enjoyed it. And in other news, on YouTube, we are nearing 2,000 subscribers. We're almost there. I thought maybe, when we reach 2,000 subscribers, we could do something original. So if you have any suggestions as to what we could do, I don't know, like have a contest or something, or have a guest on the show. Not that this is really a talk show normally, but okay. I'd like to hear from you. You know where to find us. You can comment on YouTube. You can comment on our Facebook. You can send us a tweet at Audio Epics. We're interested in all of it. All right, this is Domien, and I bid you all a very